All right, so I've known my next guest for several years, and he's always been apolitical, like a lot of people in this country, until this election when he passionately said that the nation really needed change if it was going to flourish again. So I want to bring in now Rob Luna. And Rob, I want to talk about this. You have an academy that teaches people wealth, entrepreneurship, and obviously investing as a part of that. But you had a passion coming into this election I had never seen before. I want to talk about that for a minute. What was that all about, and why was the urgency there?
Well, when I started the Academy, Charles, the whole thing, I was in wealth management, like a lot of people, managing money for wealthy people for several years. And when I left that, I wanted to work with people like myself. And if it wasn't for the opportunity that I was given to start a small business, build some equity in that, I never would have been able to create the path that I did. And so I've been working with those young people now for about 2.5 years, Charles. Right. And it just, the passion that they have. But when I looked at the policies of this, let's forget the names of the candidates. But when I looked at the policies that were being touted and the war on small business, and I want to give you credit. You've been talking about animal spirits, how important it is. It seems like everybody's talking about animal spirits now. That's exactly what it is. And let me just give you one other dialogue here. I've been talking to people for the last week and a half leading up to this election. Some of the old clients that I had, very wealthy people, entrepreneurs, developers. Everything was about preservation. Do I move money out of the country? How do I lock things up? The last 2 days, my phone has been ringing. Where's the opportunity? How do I get access to more capital? That in itself is very hard to quantify. Right. When you get that change, Charles, that's what ignites.
Right, and some of that then, you lessening the regulatory burden, risk-taking environment.
Yep.
These young folks, I was able to meet a lot of them when I went to visit you. Because I think the pollsters were shocked at the way young people voted, and they didn't vote based on grievances. They voted based on their opportunities for the future.
That's exactly it. And they talk about minorities in this. In my academy, I'm happy to say we're about 56% minorities, primarily Hispanic, Latinos, and these are people that are first-generation wealth, and they were tired of it. And traditionally, I grew up, hey, if you're poor, you're a Democrat. It wasn't about that. Again, the policies, Charles, that they wanted were the opportunity to get out there, bust their ass, take some risk, and if they get rewarded, they're not penalized for that.
I've been saying it, Rob, for years on this channel, on Fox News. People don't want higher minimum wage. You can't pat them on the head and say, be happy with that. Let's switch to the market for a moment, because one thing you had also been talking about is small caps. IWM, this is a Russell 2000 making a major breakout here. How far do you think it could go?
I think it goes further. Like Sam Stovall gave up some really, really good stats. Because we actually hear, over the long run, Democrats actually do slightly better. However, when you have the Senate and the House that's red, and you've got a red president, that's changed. And if you take a look at Trump, a lot different than this last time when he was trying to figure it out. He's going to be ready to go day one, and that's going to ignite and add to these small companies.
And names like Musk, RFK Jr., this
Ramaswamy. It goes on.
It just goes on, right? He's not draining the swamp. He's bringing in folks where he won't have to rely on it. I got a minute to go, but you do have a couple of stock ideas here. Why these particular names? Moelis, for instance.
Moelis, M&A. So M&A is going to be back. People are going to be looking to lever up. There's been a lot of regulatory burdens to that. I was at an event last night talking to some people in private equity. They're getting ready to go. I think Moelis is going to be one of the benefactors. And then Korn Ferry, obviously. You're going to need to hire and find good talent. If the market is booming, that's another stock I think that'll be able to benefit. Both small caps at a direct play there.
All right, Rob, great stuff, man.
Thanks, man.
It was really, really amazing to see you get that way because, again, I think that underscored, A, how important this election was, but B, how people were thinking much differently than the experts thought.
Some people got mad at me, but hey, that's not what it's about. It's about helping people.
Don't worry, I've been in that boat for 20 years. That's when you find out who your real friends are.
Exactly.
All right.